All right. So you see that live button there? It's all red and nice. So this is Corrine. This is Corrine Lafont, and I hope everyone can hear me. I know you are seeing me with a headset. I hate these things. Makes me look like some sort of, I don't know. I like to just talk freely. Everybody else is without a headset. But the last time when you saw all of us here on September 13th, you would have seen my mouth moving, but no sound coming out. And everybody else had nice sounding voices, and it was just me. I realized that I had to take my computer in to fix my laptop, and so they realized it's my microphone that needed to be fixed. It still isn't, but I had to have a temporary fix. But they fixed everything else on my computer. It's like brand new, a brand new man in my life. And so that's good. That's good. So, so this is a temporary fix until I could resolve what's going on internally. But we are here again, and I just want to thank everyone that you're seeing here on the screen, Davina, Jen, and Valerie, for being so gracious to come back again after all the technical difficulties to talk to you guys again. So we hope people are listening, watching, or will eventually listen and watch. If not, this is on YouTube, going live on YouTube. And it is actually the end of a series of business mini summits that I had over the past few months, I think. I kind of lost track. But this has been great. And the people that you see on the screen have been, I'm sure, in multiple, at least one, but multiple series in the summit, which means that they spoke more than once. They give of themselves more than once. They give value more than once. And so I really want to thank them for being here. But today we are ending the entire series about on marketing and promo, which is really important because I think to me, I think you would hear about 80, 90% marketing and promotion, and the other 20% is more work. Because you can put in 80% work and 20% marketing, and it doesn't go anywhere for you. It's more about getting yourself and your business out there, marketing your business. And so we want to discuss, each one of us, anybody can jump in at any point in time, but we want to discuss marketing and promotion in our own businesses, what it has done for us, what are the challenges. I want people to be real. Go back to the time when you just started. I don't know how long that was. Could have been yesterday, could have been this morning, could have been could have been some years ago. But go back to the day, even when you were thinking, I want to start a business. What am I going to start my business in? How am I going to get my first client? Those kind of thoughts that were rolling around in your head. And then what you did to actually get your first client, and how you felt when you got that first client, and how you continued to keep building your clientele. Because we want to reach the persons that are scared, just like we were when we started, are scared. And being scared is normal, and that's okay. That's okay. That can actually push you to either do it or freeze up. Yeah. And the fact that we are still here, it means that we have done something. Whether it failed or not, we have done something. And so we are still here. And so we want to reach the persons who are scared. They want to, and especially in the pandemic where things are really up in the air and people are still trying to decide what they want to do. Some people are not even going back to work. I understand, especially in the States, people are even being paid to go back to work, a sort of incentive, and they're not taking it. And, a number of things. So people are really weighing in on their options. And like I mentioned to somebody yesterday, or was it this morning? I was talking to a friend. I said, no more than ever, I am feeling, seeing, observing that people are putting values more in front of money. When before 2 years ago, it might have been about the money, how much they pay me. Oh, yeah, I'll take the money and go to work. Now they have, I don't know, over the past 2 years, people have just looked at their life and they realize, what is all of this for? The money, what? It's my values, it's my principle. I am not going to be paid off. I'm not going to sell my soul just to come out to work for you. And then you force me to take a vaccine I don't want to take. This is mandatory. I feel caged. I feel more, I knew there was control before, but now there's even more control. And I'm kind of getting tired of it. So a lot of shifting has taken place in terms of people's mentality, spirituality, their values, their principles, where they want to go in their life, what really matters to them going forward. And we're in the final part of 2021. We're going into 2022. And I know this last 3 months, this last quarter, people are really going to be sitting down. Thanksgiving is coming up, in the States and other parts of the world. And people are going to be sitting down and thinking deep about how they really want their 2022 to be and what they need to do now. So I want us to come from that sort of place when we started years ago, the fears and all of that, what we did, and maybe what we may be doing differently, going into 2022, knowing what we have been through the past 2 years. And it may seem like 10, 20 years have gone, eh? 2 years may seem like 10 and 20, but it's just 2 years, if so much, but it feels like just such a long time, and it's not. And another thing I was saying to someone in the same discussion. I said, look at how the world, things have kind of topsy turved because working from home, which is what we have been doing all along, seems to be the new way. No. When before I would have said, Sandra, I'm working from home. She would have looked at me and said, What? What are you doing? You're doing nothing? What do you mean work from home? How do you, what is that? Because she's going in her nice little car, driving, beating the traffic, cussing people off the road, in her suit. She's controlled by the boss. She can't take lunch when she wants. She can't go home when she wants. That was the status quo. And that was life. And that was 2 years ago. Now, people who are working from home are looked at the top of the echelon, and the people who are working in a traditional office are at the bottom. So it's like, you're not working from home. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're not saying anything. So it's a lot of things that were once seen as up there is no longer up there anymore, and things have actually twisted. And I want us to even talk in terms of the marketing. And I know I'm sharing a lot, but I'm putting the context so that you know where to go. Where do you see? I mean, we already kind of get an idea of where the world is and where it may be going. But if we could just push ourselves, we were in a time capsule and say 5 years from now, I don't know what that is, 2021 and five is what, 2026, something like that. Push ourselves into that time capsule and say to ourselves, what do we see happening in that point in time, and marketing and promotion, and even what we're doing in our business, if it would be relevant, probably facets of our business that we are doing now, would it still be relevant, or do we have to, as I say, pivot, or I like to say recalibrate the whole thing? What do we need to change? What do we need to prepare for going forward? Because you're coming into business, it shouldn't be about today, September 30th, 2021, or even the next month or the next year. It's about 5, 10 years down the road and staying relevant. And marketing and promotion is about keeping that in your thoughts in order to be able to strategize moving forward. So I've put the context. I am going to leave you guys to talk. Who wants to talk first? Everybody else could mute themselves. So open up your mic. Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first? Don't be too shy now. Yes. Valerie.
Good morning from the Philippines. So it's actually October 1 here now. It's really 3 months to go till the end of the year. And funny you say that because I'm actually doing a 3 day challenge, which is called the Future of Sales. Because exactly what you said, we have as marketing people, as business owners, we have to be able to look beyond that day. Like here, for example, it's October 1. So that's why I decided to do that. So your question, I actually have two businesses. So I kind of started twice. The first one, it's really, you know, um, special to me because it's the first. And I remember it's an e-commerce site, so it was inspired by my wedding. We have locally made materials to be sold internationally. So that was the dream. And I remember that very first sale that we had. So how we did it was, well, of course, because it's an e-commerce site, we had to get some inventory, and then slowly announcing it on our pages. So it was more personal. So our own network first. And then by January, we started selling online, meaning social media. So we opened up an Instagram account and then a Facebook account, even before we did the e-commerce, the website itself through Shopify. It's through Shopify. So because I describe myself as a brain science based digital marketing strategist. And for me, that strategy was priming. So we were priming our customers' brains to anticipate our new products, to anticipate that, hey, we have a new business. Hey, it was starting from our own network and then social media. So it was kind of a slow burn. We didn't have a big, like a big launch with sale or whatever. And we were so thankful. I remember, so I have two partners. We were in the dining area. We were having breakfast because we said, okay, let's hit live. Let's hit the live button and then let's wait. First hour we sold our one of our most expensive items. So we were like shouting and really happy. And I think it was because people were already primed. And because we were afraid that they were not gonna appreciate the higher priced items. But because of that, because of the priming, we already started in their heads like they are a premium brand. So that's one. The second business that I started was just last year. I am a victim, now victor, of the pandemic. I started the second business last year. And how I got my first client was I asked. Because when I lost that job, people were like, I was hiding. I hidden, and I almost deactivated my Facebook out of shame, out of embarrassment. But then people were like asking me for help. Val, I know you have an e-commerce site. You have 20 years experience in advertising. You're an NLP practitioner. What can you do to help us? So initially, I just gave, freebies, the concept and the power of reciprocity. It's very, very powerful. And so when a friend of mine asked, like, do you know any speaker that can teach us digital marketing? And I said, well, we have a lot of motivational speakers, but they don't know digital marketing. And I do. I said, do you want me to do it for you? And that's how it started. I really presented myself. I'm like, I can do that. Why not pay me? I know we're friends, but so he referred me to many people, his friends, and word just got around because I was, I've established my name in the real estate industry. So word got around, and really, that's how I started my business. I asked, I said, I'm here. And even in the future, I think if you want to start a business, when you want to start a business right now, just try. And the learning from that is make sure you have a market. Make sure you have a market. When you start a business, when you're still thinking of starting a business, there's three things that you have to think about. Do you have a product? Do you have people who will follow and buy from you? Or do you have a process? So any of those three. For my first business, we had the product. My second business, I had people. I had people asking from me. And then the third, maybe, who knows? I mean, maybe I will have a third business that will start with a process. I don't know. So that's for me.
I want to jump in there before anybody else comes in, because you said something significant. You said you felt shame and you wanted to deactivate your account. No, I love that. No, this is serious. I love that you were vulnerable enough to say that. And I know that it's going to resonate with a lot of people who is listening and will be listening to this, because that is how you feel. Or you lost your job. Why is it? And I would like others to come in as well, that we feel shame from losing our job, as opposed to seeing it as an opportunity for us to go into something that we want to do. Where is that coming from? Where is that shame, guilt coming from? That we feel, I don't want anybody to know. I'm going to lock up in the house. I don't even want anybody to know. Nothing. Where is that coming from? Because I want people to leave this session, this discussion, not feeling that way. Okay. And if they feel that way, they need to get rid of it, like right now, and start looking at asking, because people came asking you for help. And while you are saying, okay, there are other people who could do it, but hold on, wait a minute. I could do it. Yeah, I could, I could do it. You think about everybody else, and then when you realize, hold on, yeah, I could do it. It's crazy. But I want to understand where is that coming from and why you felt the shame.
I I have a comment on that, and I totally understand where she's coming from. A lot of times we project onto other people like how we think that we should feel. So I'm sure she was thinking like I had to take down, my Facebook page and kind of disconnect from the world because of what other people think of me. And that's one of the things that, I also have to strive to get over. Is like I can't control how other people think and how other people perceive me. And a lot of times that's just something that's kind of made up in our head. Whenever you fail, all of a sudden you think that everybody's going to see you as a failure, when a lot of times they'll say, hey, you know what, I think she might be onto something. And you know I'm sure she's got a lot going on, and she's going to make the most of what she's been doing. So I think it's just how we portray other people will think about us.
Yeah. And if I can jump in, I can completely relate as well. There were some things that have happened in my career that were completely unexpected. So, in addition to kind of the projection, right, of society's thoughts and ideals on us, it could be negative self talk, or maybe something someone said to you long time ago that you've been replaying in your mind. I'll give you a perfect example of that. Um, in addition to my marketing consulting, I'm also a career coach. And I became a career coach out of having mismatched jobs, being in really toxic, terrible working environments and situations. So I figured I can help be a shortcut for other people, right? And I was working with a trainer at the time, and I was in a toxic situation, one that I almost had to invoke legal counsel for.
Wow.
And I ended up losing that job. And I'm like, okay, I think that's a sign. So, to your point, Corinne, about looking at failures as opportunities. Uh, but I remember saying out loud, okay, this is an opportunity that I should really be focusing on the career coaching. So this was like 6 years ago. And the trainer said to me, well, you lost this job. Why do you think you could be a career coach? And so every time I approached an obstacle within that business, I heard that. I heard that for a long time. And yes, that evokes shame. And I think shame is the accelerated road to self sabotage. So it
Wow.
took for me to lay some different groundwork, lay some different language in my head, and to confront that, not necessarily with the trainer, but people's different points of view, and also holding steadfast to my calling and my commission to do that work. So, Valerie, I hear you. Where, well, too, a job is associated with a sense of status. And then when you lose that, it's like, oh no, you feel very like naked to the world, right? So, yeah, I totally hear you on that.
It's how we identify, and what we hear people tell us that makes us self-identify. In other words, people tell us this is who we are supposed to be, and we feel that's what our identity is. That's who we are. So once that is scratched or taken away, it's like, what? I need to go into my shell because I'm nobody. I lack value. Why am I existing? And this is something that takes people into depression. It takes people into suicide mode. It takes people places, dark places. And we have to really dig deep into those corners and crevices of our lives and realize that's not who we are. We are somebody with or without any of that. So, all the people who have lost jobs, including myself, not employed, and all of these things, pushing my business, recalibrating, pivoting, looking at opportunities. I will be honest. I reached out to Davina just the other day and I said, Davina, girl, I need some help. Any ideas, any suggestions? You reach out within your network. What should I do? Sit down here and, I mean, yes, I did the bawling and the crying and rolling up and covering, and I did that. Okay. And then I had to pull myself together and said, okay, with praying and all of that, who can I call? Who can I reach out to ask for help? Because you're going to go to a place, it might be a place that you can't return from. And that's not good. So once you catch yourself into that, you have to find ways out. And there are ways out because the universe is built in such a way, once there's a problem, there is a solution. You just have to search. It has to have a solution. There is no way that a problem exists and there isn't a solution. There is no way. There must be a solution. It might be the solution you might like or you might want to do, but there is one. Somebody was going to make a comment on that before. Somebody was
Oh,
going to say something. Yeah.
I was gonna say something because also here in the Philippines, I don't know about
Hmm.
other parts of the world. The path is linear. So when you're born,
Oh.
want to be an employee. You go to school, you graduate, you find a boyfriend, you get married, you have children, you get promoted. It's linear. And when you get off that path, people are like,
Mhm.
huh? What are you doing?
Yes.
What you ask
Yes.
when you tell them I'm going to start a business? They're not even gonna clap for you, celebrate with you. You're crazy. And so in that job, because again, linear, I lived my life like that for a while. And I climbed up the steps, the ladder, and that was a chief marketing officer position. So when I lost it, actually it was, mutual. So when I told my boss and she told me, okay, we're calling it quits. Um, I knew that people
Mhm.
are gonna raise their eyebrows. They're gonna like, you lost your job. Oh my God, you're so arrogant.
Yeah.
Or you announced this job a few months ago. Now you lost it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's also coming from, I think,
It
culturally,
is.
we're really like that. So
It's part of the socialization, Valerie. It happens here in the Caribbean. I think it's a worldwide phenomenon. Society, parents, church, all the different influencers, media will try to tell you who you are, and culturally, whether Asian, black, white, it doesn't matter where you're from. We all have our own thing. Even in the black community, we have our own own challenges to go through within the black community that you're expected to. Even the thing about a boyfriend, get married at a certain age, have children at a certain age, have a house, a car, be doing this. If you don't have children, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You can't have children, something wrong with you, and you're looked at like you have no use. It comes back to the point again. Your value and identity is attached to these things. So we all need to work on that. Yeah, I see Davina taking notes. She's taking notes. Yeah, so I want to move on now. I see Jen open up her mic in terms of your experience starting over, all what we discussed before.
So I will tell you that I also have two jobs, technically three, because I'm also a Navy reservist, but they cannot be any different from each other. So one of them, I in my deep, darkest soul, I am an engineer and a scientist. And what that means is that I'm an introvert, I'm naturally shy. That's just who I am. I don't like to jump into conversations that makes me uncomfortable. And there was a day when I realized that, you know what, I really bring value to this bigger company that I'm a part of, but I can do it myself. And so I decided to start my own engineering company. And at first, it was really just word of mouth. A lot of people knew me. They knew the work that I did. And I could go to conferences and I felt very comfortable around them because they're all engineers and they're all little squares like me because we're all introverts and we're all shy. And so it was really easy to go up and say, hey, I'm on my own now. And I was incredibly blessed with the outpouring of people's support. You know, they liked working with me, but whenever I was working for a larger company, they're like, oh, well, we have to hire that larger company in order to get her services. But now I'm a woman-owned, veteran-owned business, and I haven't had to do that much marketing. It's really just sort of a word of mouth, and that's how it's really gone. Now, the other side is that about a year ago, I decided that I've had all this experience in helping people be better leaders, and also to sort of shed their own camouflage of feeling like they have to be somebody that they're not, and overcoming imposter syndrome and tokenism. And I was like, I can really help these people. And so that means that I have to come out of my shell and I have to speak in front of people, which is fine. But I will just tell you that my marketing and all of that is terrible because I'm an introvert and I'm shy. And for others that are out there, I totally feel you, because some people are just gifted with this ability to just go up and just talk to anybody. And I'm not one of those people. You know, I have to like get my armor on and I go in and I talk to people and I introduce myself and try to feel comfortable in doing it. And so for me, it's a real struggle, and it's just my personality, but it's something that I am slowly overcoming and just getting out there and telling people, you know, kind of like Valerie's like, hey, you know, I can do this too. I can help you. And I have so much passion and all that. It's just really understanding how to do a completely different business that really requires a lot of marketing and trying to do that well. So I'm still working on that piece. But for all of the other shy introverts out there, I'm just letting you know it can be done.
No, I don't believe you, Jen. I don't believe you. Here's why. Here's why I don't believe you. I'm smiling with you, you know, and I still love you. But hear what? I don't believe you. I know you have to be lying. You know why? Because you are a military person. And I don't even want to bring up all the accolades you have accomplished and the people's lives that are in your hands. And you're out there with guns, no roses, guns and machinery and all that. So I'm like, when I picture military and people have seen the US military, I am like, how is it that you could be sitting here telling us that you're an introvert and you're handling massive guns and machinery, people's lives? You are actually sacrificing your life on behalf of the country and the world. And you are telling me that you're an introvert and you cannot be dealing with marketing? Come on, Jen. Come on, Jen. Try again.
It's a different type of marketing. I feel very comfortable as a military officer because I've been doing it for 26 years. And so I feel very comfortable, and I know how to talk to people. I know the language, and I know how to put up fighting positions, and I know where the guns need to go, and I know all of this stuff, and I can get that out because I got to save people's lives, so I can do that. But if I have to go to a conference and be like, hi, I'm Jen Donahue, can you hire me? Like, I'm just like, that's just not my thing.
Why can't you see them as guns? Why can't you see them as saving lives? Why can't you see? You're in a conference here. Let's pretend.
Yes.
Me and Davina and Valerie are here in a conference, and there are 7 or 100, 1,000 people. Right. Why can't you see us as people in military uniforms that you're directing and as guns and machinery and saving lives? And then say, hey, you do that, I know how to do that. And why?
You know, I hadn't actually thought about it that way. I've always thought about it as like, I have to be this, you know, this other person that people are expecting me to be. You know, I thought it's like, if I go out there and I'm like too bold and too brash, you know, they'll be like, oh, no, nope. And so these are just still things that I'm trying to overcome. So yeah, maybe, well, you know how they say, like, you know, whenever you're up in front of people, like imagine everybody in the audience is naked. Okay, maybe I just had to pretend like everybody in the audience has camouflage and guns.
That's what I'm saying. Just see them like they're part of your military, whatever the words are. And you just give direction, just like how you would plan, like the card that you showed us the day when you did your session.
Right.
Just work it out that way and see them like that. I mean, don't see them naked. I mean, I
No.
will see people naked, but you don't. And you made a point there. You are expecting, and you see, it keeps coming back to the expectation of
Right.
what other people want from us. You are thinking, if you come across in the military fashion, in terms of promoting and marketing, people will think you're too brash, you're too harsh, but you need to be soft. You need to be cultured. Like how Davina has a nice little glasses matching her jacket and everything is looking all nice and everything. No, you might come out with you could, can you believe you step out? I can see it. You step out in your military suit, your military garb, and you can speak with that.
Yes.
Is there a policy against that, using wearing military and speaking? I don't
There,
know.
there actually is. For the U.S.
Okay.
military, we do have very strict regulations about
Right.
when we can wear a uniform and not. But at
Right.
the same time, I can still project myself like
Right.
as I'm in the military. So
Right. So you could wear a suit, a power suit that makes you feel, yeah, that you're in the military. I don't know.
yes,
But I'm saying, look at the expectation. You are thinking you need to be soft. Not that you may not be soft, but because of who you are, this is who you are. Why are you, why are we, and I'm not just saying you, but we
right.
thinking that we need to be somebody else
It's
according to somebody else's standards in order to meet a speaker profile or a marketing approach or a promotion approach. Where is that written?
it's a great point. And I feel like I'm in the middle of a therapy session because this is absolutely fantastic. So it's good to talk these types of issues
This
out.
is it. I remember when I was doing the Venus session and I talked to her about something and she said something that really blew me. I said, people are always thinking that they need to line up their ducks in a row. She's like, where are the ducks? Where are the ducks? When last she looked at ducks, ducks were never lining up in a row. You had a leader, and I was like, damn, that's right. Where are the ducks? Who are these people talking about the ducks? And when she said it, I was like, yeah, people are always talking about have all your ducks in a row before you do. And she's like, which ducks? Where are the ducks? You remember that, Davina? This is crazy. So we are actually being people who we are not. So we need to start being our authentic selves, don't matter who like us or not, because the people who like us, who don't follow us, are not meant to. They are not the people who are supposed to be in our circle. And that's okay. Okay? Davina, jump in here with your ducks.
I still stand by that. I'm like, where are people getting these ideas? Where are people getting these expectations that we're trying to fit ourselves into? Like, it's not real. And like I said, I've watched ducks. They're really not that linear. Okay, they have a direction, but they're constantly moving all the time. I'm like, okay, so let's debunk that myth there. But I'm glad you brought up authenticity, because without authenticity, you don't have a brand, you don't have a product, and no one will believe you. It's like smelling something foul a mile away. You can tell when people are trying too hard or when they're trying to compare themselves to other people, and it's a turnoff. If people are looking to spend money with you, whether it's for a product or a service, they're looking for something that's going to satiate them and whatever need they have. And if you can't show up authentically, then how can you solve their need? How can you have emotional connection uh, with that gap that they have? You can't. So you have to be authentic, and to an extent, march to the beat of your own drum. I know there's a million different gurus and coaches and methodologies and things, but you still have to do what works for you. I think a lot of new business owners want to grab a hold of a formula that somebody else did that worked for them, and they think they can just take that and apply it to their business, and it's going to replicate the same level and capacity of success. But that's just not how it works. That person found the niche, they found what worked for them, but what worked for them won't work for you. I'm actually kind of going back and forth with a client of mine right now. I actually have a mother and daughter that are two separate marketing clients of mine. And if I'm giving instruction to one and then they talk and they're like, oh, let me do that. You are two different people with two completely different types of businesses. One is a product, one is a service, one is food related, one is like teaching and training related. We can't just mix and match strategies over here. And this is why you hire a person who can help identify that for you. So there is no one size fits all in any part of your business, especially in the marketing. And I know you guys can relate as marketers.
Yeah.
It can be a little like, oh, just do that. It's like it just
Yeah.
it does
What
not
did
work.
you do? What did you do when you first started to promote your business, to market it, to get your first client? And what have you been doing that you're willing to share over the period of time? And as I say, let's throw ourselves into 5 years ahead. What do you see? Do you need to cut out something from your business? Do you need to add something? Do you need to multiply what?
So I have again two businesses as well. For the career coaching, I did a lot of like social media paid advertising. But if you guys have experienced this back in April of this year, so there was this big update with like Apple and Facebook. And for us marketers, we had to do a lot on the back end to make sure we were compliant. Otherwise, Facebook would just like not run your ads, etc. But now what I'm finding for myself and for my clients is now the ads are just not as successful. You aren't getting as much return on investment. And I've had conversations with Facebook like, oh, yeah, this is doing fine. Let this run for 3 months. And it's like, 3 months? I'm paying X amount of dollars a day. At some point, especially as a small business, I've got to get a return on my investment. So from there, I've had to pivot from doing paid social media advertising to looking at other opportunities such as like speaking engagements, community related things, and other advertising tactics to do that because I just not getting the return on investment there. But also referrals with my current clients. I encourage them with that, and I have an incentive with that. For the marketing consulting, word of mouth, really. Just the people that I'm working with, everybody knows someone that needs marketing, or so they perceive that they need marketing, but they might need business structure first. So that with word of mouth itself just keeps me busy enough.
What do you guys see in terms of moving forward, going into 2022 and beyond? Is there anything that you think you need to change? Because I know normally entrepreneurs like ourselves, we use this last 3 to 6 months in the year to, especially the last 3 months, to kind of assess, evaluate what we have done, in the past year or years, and say, I need to change this, I need to change that. Um, is there anything that, or probably to make life simpler for you? Because I know, like for me, I spent the last couple of weeks, well, I don't know what came over me, but I just wasn't doing anything. I just felt I just needed to pull away for a while, just detox, evaluate, ask myself questions like, am I really enjoying what I'm doing? There comes a point you just feel like a rat on that wheel, the hamster on the wheel thing. You're just doing things because. And that's how I felt. I'm just doing things because. Am I really feeling it anymore? I had a conversation with a girlfriend. I'm like, I have accomplished so much in my life. I growing up as a young child, I've been driven. Nobody had to poke me to do anything. I'm self-motivated. I studied, I achieved, I did well at school. I'm an author, I've done that. I'm a speaker, I'm doing that, and I've done that. I create courses, I've done that. I I have my degree, I have my master's, I've done all of that. you know, I have children, I've given birth to children, I've done that. I've had men in my life, I've done that. I've lived alone, I've done that. So I'm like, I don't have this need to prove to anyone or to validate myself to anyone for any reason. So I want my life to be simple. I mean, so simple that I could take. I mean, I'm even looking at receptionist jobs just to walk into a simple office. I just want my life so simple. I mean, not even the money is a factor because I could, given the pandemic, you learn how to cut and paste and save, than how you were living before. It forced you to really look at what really matters and what you were doing before. So I just want a simple life. So I'm looking at my business and I'm like, do you really want to be doing this particular thing? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What brings you joy? And I just recently I was inspired to do something and I started doing it. It's still within my business, what I was doing, but that particular aspect of the business, I'm going to continue most likely doing it until I'm not inspired anymore or until something else moves me. But I just don't want to be on that hamster wheel and feeling like because everybody else is doing it, they're writing blogs, they're sending out newsletters, and you see these nice little things coming in your inbox, and you feel, oh my God, look at what Davina is doing. I need to do that. Look at what Valerie is doing. I need to do that. Oh my God, they're just ahead of the curve. No, I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to be competing with Davina. I don't want to be competing with Jen. I don't want to feel like I'm competing with anybody because I'm not. It's my life and it's what brings me joy. Because why are you being an entrepreneur in the first place? Just to be doing this thing, and you're like, where is the joy? I don't know. You guys tell me something. I don't know. Tell me something.
So being an engineer and a scientist, I like a lot of data. And so at least in the US, there's a US Bureau of Labor, and they have statistics, and they show how many people have quit every single month over the last, 50 years. And it's amazing. Like starting in November of last year, the amount of people who have quit their job. And especially for 2021, the numbers have skyrocketed. It's like they're almost the highest they've been in 20 years. And they're calling it the Great Resignation, where everybody has just decided, you know what, I've had it. And I have so many friends who have also quit their job, and they're realizing that one of the biggest reasons why is that they're not being treated like real people. They're being mismanaged. They aren't, they just don't feel like they're being cared about anymore. And they're going to companies where they feel like they belong and that they're real people and they care about their needs and give them more flexibility to now work from home because, a lot of people say, no, you have to go back to the office. And so it's just absolutely amazing. And this is sort of like all over the world that this great resignation is happening. And I think you're absolutely spot on, is that people have realized what really matters to them. And it might not be going out there and chasing that next paycheck. I know for my husband, he just retired. He's in the FBI and he was a bomb tech for 20 years. He just got a job with a friend and he's driving around in a forklift and he loves it. Like he comes home each day and he's just like, yeah, today was a good day. He doesn't have to worry about, getting called at 2:00 in the morning to go defuse a bomb or anything like that. And he was really happy because he finally decided, like, hey, I don't need all of that. I just want to, family means something. And it's something,
I think it's safer to drive the forklift than defusing a bomb. That's just my thinking. It might be exciting on TV to defuse a bomb, but I'm thinking in real life, drive a forklift. Okay? Stay home. Valerie, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, so it's funny because sometime in August I was feeling the same. I told my husband, I kept on telling my husband, because I've only been in the at least the training and coaching business since April of last year. And I feel like, and I tell people this not to make it a sprint, but it's a marathon.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
for me, I don't, because I'm an achiever, I, I describe myself as an achiever. I've done my very first summit within the first year of business. I've done all of these, all of these things that people are like, how can you do that? How can you do that? You're not even a year old yet. And, so sometime in August of this year, I felt like there was no more gas. I said, I'm not motivated
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
When I started the business and I joined summits, I told myself, someday I'm gonna be a speaker. But that someday became the following month. And then I told myself, someday I'm gonna be an author. Someday I'm gonna have a book. And then that book came 3 months after. So I felt like, there's no more, or
Yeah.
there's no more to do. Like you said, what else is there to do? What else?
Yeah.
I don't have anything to prove anymore. But then I
Yeah.
realized that, that's just it all in my head. Really, there's so many more people who need help. There's
Yeah.
so many more people who I need to share my message to. But
Yeah.
so August and September, I wasn't even selling. Like, I was just, okay, I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna work on the business, work on my brand, but I wasn't
Yeah.
really putting myself out there.
Yeah. The
Um,
marketing. Mm-hmm.
yes, I was just, okay, I'm gonna write some articles, I'm gonna write a book, I'm gonna do this and do that. Um, so it happens. It gets to us
Yeah.
sometimes, and I
Yeah.
think there's that for that one. There's no shame, and you
None
have
at none
this.
at all. None at all.
There's the reason why there's a pause even in a song, even in
Mm.
music.
I
So
love that.
pause, that goes up again, and then sustains, and then
I
ends again. So
love that. I love that, Valerie.
I'm at that
Yeah.
point where
Yeah.
I'm going up again. That's why I did I have the challenge again, and I'm
Mm.
motivated. I'm motivated again, trying to get in more people. So I'm at the point. I feel you.
Yeah, yeah. I like how you said that. There's a pause in everything. Even in the water, when you go to the ocean or by the beach, there is a little bit of stillness and then a rise and flow, ebb and flow, ebb and flow. Everything can't be always like tsunami like. It has it has to have, it's time. And there are times you go through it. And I want people to, in listening to this as entrepreneurs who want to go into business, that is, what we are expressing here are all the different, what do you call that now, moods and moves that will happen with you, and it's okay. It's okay. And the point about it for me is that I learned so much about myself. It helped me to go more within, become more stronger, get to know more about me, what I like, what I would like, who I would like to be working with, networking with, that type of thing. Just, and I may go through it again. Coming to the Christmas, we tend to have that kind of feeling again, that introspection and reflection. I might go through it again. And then New Year's Eve, I'm going to go through it again because I'm going to be thinking, oh my God. And then the coming year, what am I going to? So you have that sort of feeling going through. But we're coming down to the last few minutes because we're spending 1 hour here. Sharp, sharp. So I want us to start looking at 5 years down the road. 5 years down the road. Where do you think you will be, Davina, in terms of your business? I mean, you'll be looking sharper than how you're looking now. We know this. But where, where would you be 5 years from now? Where would you like to be? I shouldn't even say where would you like to be. Where would you be? Yes, where would you be?
Honestly, I see myself being able to affect change in the workforce. So, Jen, I'm really happy that you brought up the great resignation because that's at my heart and at my core.
Yeah.
And my tagline for the coaching business is careers on purpose. So it's my goal to get as many people on purpose as possible. But it's
Yeah.
not just the employees and working with them and helping them understand who they are, what their gifts and their talents are, and to
Mm-hmm.
market and brand themselves properly. But I
Mm-hmm.
also plan to have conversations, right, with these corporations so that they can
Yeah.
create environments for these great people to work so that we can
Mm-hmm.
have like a, more cohesion and good relationships moving forward. So I see myself affecting the whole workforce on both ends so that we have more satisfied people at work in general. So that,
Mm-hmm.
if I can be honest, they're not utilizing entrepreneurship as a way to escape, right, as opposed to their purpose. And then the marketing side, the same thing, to get more small businesses off the ground. The statistic is that most businesses fail within the first 5 years. So it's my
Yeah.
goal to curb that so that the folks that I work with are more successful and they're energized and they're happy with what they're doing.
I'm going to ask you while you're on the floor and you finish your point to let people know how they can contact you. And then when you're finished saying that, and while somebody else is talking, I want you to put the links in the private chat so that I can profile it on the screen when somebody else is talking. So tell us how they can contact you. Tell us the website verbally, and then send it to us in the private chat.
Absolutely. So for marketing branding side, that is AWS Consulting.agency. You can
Mm-hmm.
find me there. And on the career coaching side, that's upwardlypavedpath.com, and then Upwardly Paved Path on all my social channels. And I will go ahead and put that in the chat.
Thank you so much. Jen, let's move to you. 5 years from now. And then you do the same thing and share your how we can reach you.
Absolutely. Okay, so hopefully 5 years, like maybe even 1 year from now, I'm going to be better at the marketing piece now that I've talked to you guys. but but really, I am just absolutely so passionate, really about helping younger people understand their own leadership styles, and then also young professionals as well. One of the things that I found is like you really don't get a lot of leadership training and really that self-awareness training until you're maybe a middle manager and then you've created all these bad habits. 5 years from now, I want to have some type of framework ready to go in different colleges that I can come and help people be better leaders and start there. There's a couple of pilot programs that are already going on at like Rice University and things like that. And I would really love to be involved in that and helping others start early to be better leaders for the rest of their life. And then those young entrepreneurs, those young professionals, helping them understand who they are and really getting out there and, again, helping people and touching their lives to make them better at their profession and then also personally. So that's my 5-year goal.
Awesome.
And so I can be reached at Jen Donahue. It's Jen with 2 N's. And my website is www.jendonahue.com.
Awesome. Put it in the private chat, and then I'm going to be doing it just like how I did with the Venus. Thank you so much. Let's move on to Valerie.
Okay, so I forgot to unmute myself. I follow Simonson XY. So when I read that book in 2016, I really wanted to find out my why, and that is to inspire courage to create change. So 5 years from now, I think I still want to do that because at the very core of me, that's really what I want to do in small businesses, in individual brands. And in 5 years, maybe next year, maybe in 2 years, I don't know, I will be speaking more live sessions, hopefully, please, you know, with real people hugging and tapping on our shoulders. And really, I want to do that. I started as a trainer virtually, but I realized, in our journey, we might start with something that gives us money, that gives us, our regular income. But that also allows us to eventually find what we really want to do. And I think that what I really want to do is live speaking. So that's my goal, and to continually inspire courage to create change on the live stages. So yes, you can find me at Valerie Fisher. That's FISCHER net, and I'm Valerie P. Fisher on all my social media channels, even TikTok.
Nice. And put that in the private chat so I can put it as part of the ticker below. And while she's doing that, I'm going to talk about me. I didn't have time to think about my own self, but but next 5 years, I don't want to be stressed out like, oh, I'm stressed right now. I want to be relaxed, just happy in whatever it is I may be doing, whether it is in a receptionist job, like I said, or whatever it is. I just want to be happy and to continue, because this never stops with me, continue impacting people's lives. Anybody who comes into my space, physical, virtual, or otherwise, I always leave them better off. It doesn't matter what, I'm not going to say it has to be a particular position, a particular title. Once you come into my space, physical or virtual, there you don't ever leave the same way that you come in. So I'm not going to put a frame around myself in terms of that. Whatever that is, I am thankful to be able to leave people better than how they came to me. And that's important to me. Pretty simple. Yeah. And to reach me, it's lafontandassociates.com, lafontandassociates.com. And I'm going to put my website at the bottom as well, if I could get a chance to do that. So in the meantime, I'm going to have you all have a little powwow amongst yourself. If you want to, you can give feedback on the session. While we wrap up, you have 5 more minutes to go while I do all this sort of technical stuff. You all could keep talking. So open up your mics and say anything that you want to say, or share a tip, or anything you want to do, or talk about the summit, whatever it is you want to do. Say a thanks, somebody saying thanks, whatever. Use this opportunity.
I just want to say, Kareen, thank you so much for having us. This is such a great
Absolutely.
opportunity. I've learned so much also from Valerie and Davina. This has been, for me, as someone who's really just starting out, it's been a really awesome opportunity. So again, really thank you. I feel very honored to even be on this summit. Thank you.
Yes, and it
Same.
shows resilience, because the first time, we didn't stop. We didn't stop just because we couldn't do it the first time. We tried to do it again, and thankfully this one's been very successful. Thank you for trying again, Corinne, and thank you for putting us all three together.
Yes, yes.
Yes, it's been great. Yeah, honestly, Valerie, to your point, I think the resilience is just kind of a foreshadow of what people can expect in business. You have to
Yeah.
keep picking yourself back up. You have to be dedicated to your craft. It's a baby you have to raise. And sometimes
Yeah.
the baby falls. You got to wipe its nose and,
Yeah,
tend to the
yeah.
boo-boos and keep going.
Yeah, yeah, and it's okay. You see, I keep saying
Right.
that it's okay. The shame, the guilt, the beating up on ourselves, it happens to us all the time, and we do it to our own selves. It's amazing that what we think other people are thinking of us, they're really not thinking that.
Very true.
But we are we are thinking that of ourselves, and self-hating, self-loathing, the self-talk, the monkey chatter is just so bad for us. I have decided I am not entertaining. And I mean, it's not that it wouldn't come, but from the time it comes, I put a stop to it. I'm like, excuse me, thank you so much for stopping by. This is what we're going to think from now on. Okay. Yeah, you have to have that talk. And that's what I say to myself, because or else it's going to take you to places that you really don't need to go. I am not going to make anybody uh, beat up on me or make me feel bad about who I am, the standards that I have, my beliefs, my values. It could be family, it could be my children, it could be clients, it could be the neighbor, it could be the dog and cat outside. I don't care who you are or what you are. You are not going to have a say in the way my life is run, because it's my life. It's how I want to live it. I am not telling you how to live yours or how to run your business. You should have no say in terms of mine. That's basically what it is. Because at the end of the day, I have to face me. I have to sleep with me. I have to wake up with me. Okay. And I want to feel good, knowing that. Yeah. So thank you so much, people. I did not put my website because everybody's supposed to know what my website is. But I thank you so much. It's really, let me see if I could just stop this one. It's really a pleasure having you guys. I know, Davina, you guys have spoken at several of my summits. I look forward to working with you guys again. And like you say, resilience, resilience. That's the name of the game, resilience, and loving you and loving what you do. If something isn't bringing joy, find something else that brings you joy, or else what's the point of living? Okay. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. We have 1 more minute to go, and we're ending it here. Thank you so much, ladies. Have a
Thank
great
you.
evening. Bye.
Bye.